This week was a super exciting and fun week because we got to feel out a process for introducing new things, starting first with a saddle pad, then building to a girth, and then a bareback pad, and ultimately the saddle itself. And what was really neat is Limra stayed calm and confident throughout all of these new things. And we could really maintain forward and fluid and connected movement throughout all of these sessions in a way I never quite expected. So it was just a super exciting couple of days. In the first session of the week, we had a little bit of a challenge right away in that Limra was being super distracted by Eric, and she's always been mesmerized by kiddos, and I decided in this session to be like, you know what, let's just let you guys get to know each other. So I led her over to the round pen deck, and Eric got to stroke her nose a little bit and say hi, and Limra got to explore who the little person was that was making all the noise outside of the round pen, which was super cute. So in each session this week, I'd always start by reviewing the basics, reviewing all the same exercises that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. And then I'd move on to introducing the item. And every time I introduced a new item, such as this saddle pad as is being shown here, I'd start by letting her follow it and touch it with her nose, and then begin to rub it over her shoulders and back, and then from there move back more towards her rump and up her neck. And if she was nervous about it, or as she is here drifting away from it, I'd attempt to keep the item on her until she was calm about it, or worst comes to worst, I'd just back up on a circle and let her follow it until she was drawing with more confidence towards it as she did for a moment there, and then return to the rubbing. So just alternating between following the item and then stopping and being rubbed by the item. And this system actually proved to work quite well overall. And overall, the introduction of each and every item went very smoothly. And a part of me was surprised by that, and a part of me wasn't, because I've always felt when starting young horses that it should be uneventful and unexciting. And if you've done your homework and you're building systematically to different moments, the horse should understand and feel confident as these things happen. And when there's understanding and when there's confidence, there's relaxation and things are pretty unexciting overall. So you can see that here as I'm introducing the surcingle. We usually start with the surcingle before progressing over to the saddle. It just gets them used to something going around their belly. And here you can see the surcingle on her for the first time, and I'm just working her on circles, circling left, circling right, and particularly focusing on changes of direction, making sure that she can seamlessly and fluidly move between the circles without any moments of stiffness as she feels that lunging surcingle around her barrel. And I was overall impressed and intrigued by how curious and open to all these new experiences Limra seemed to be. There have been times that Limra has shown a lot of tension or big reactions, and it's interesting to see as we progress in this project how she's becoming more and more open and inquisitive without being tense. And I think it's really key here too that we always maintain forward flow as we introduce these items. So I'll rub them over her and we'll practice being still and calm, but that we always move forward out of those moments and draw towards the item, because we need to always maintain that loose, fluid movement in our horses, because sometimes when a horse is just standing still, they can be standing still in a freeze flight moment where they're just frozen in terror. And so I was really careful to, with each item, always allow for movement and always right away when she was moving for the first time in the bareback pad as she is here, let her flow between the different circles and different sides. It became a little interesting, obviously, when I started to introduce her to me jumping up and down and ultimately bellying up on her and putting my weight over her back. Because obviously, when I'm by myself in the middle of round pen, I can't do as much moving between circling and jumping up and down or bellying up. But I think because she's so confident overall right now and understanding and willing, you could really see that she didn't mind me introducing these new things, such as putting my weight over her back like that. And she was just ultimately very confident and happy about it. And especially before I began introducing the saddle, but as a part of almost all the sessions this week, I really focused on being able to move her out on larger circles in more straight lines. Obviously, we're still in a round pen, but trying to create more big circles because that better aids the horse in finding forward flow when they're not bending too much on a tighter circle. So that was definitely something that I practiced a lot before I put equipment on, so that I had that cue to be able to send her out on a larger circle and help her find her balance moving forward. And then, of course, at the end of that, be able to draw her in onto a tighter circle and keep that connection and draw towards me. So here you can see I'm introducing the saddle for the very first time, and I'm following the same system that I developed with the other items from the girth to the bareback pad, in that I swing it over her, I rub it around a little bit, I move it around a bit, then I slide it off and I walk backwards and I draw her towards the item so she builds more confidence, and then I stop and swing it over her again, and in this sense build confidence with the saddle. And then you can see here I'm finishing up tightening the girth for the first time, and I move her out onto her first circle saddled. You guys, this was so exciting. And I pick up my other whip, and I just want you to notice that for a first time ever carrying the saddle, Limra is just so calm and confident here, just drawing towards me on the circle with pretty good bend, and she's a little hesitant. She's definitely thinking about what's around her barrel, but this relaxation is just exactly what I want to see in my youngsters when I'm introducing them to the saddle for the first time. And of course, because forward momentum and fluidity are so important to us with our youngsters, I did send her up into a little bit of canter out on a bigger circle, and we did some trot work, and we did trot both on a larger and a smaller circle, as I'm doing here, where I'm drawing her towards me and then having her pick up speed and trot on a smaller size circle. But what I just loved about this is we were able to work through any hesitation or any moments that she was a little bit tentative and find that relaxation and fluidity. And of course, we continued training the same exercises that we've been working on, such as the backup that I'm showing here, working one step at a time, just building her confidence with doing all the same maneuvers that she does without the saddle with the saddle, so that she can become fully acclimated to carrying this new piece of equipment on her body and moving with it fluidly. So this was just a super exciting and fun week, and couldn't be more pleased with how the training is going so far.